Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today we're going to discuss the multiplayer progress update for September. I did miss it. It came out about a week ago. Unfortunately, I was in the middle of the studio remodel, which is almost done at this point, and then I also went on a little mini vacation with the family. So to go ahead and dive into this, we're just going to see how much further they've come in September since August, and that is while they were doing the 𝐁𝐮𝐢𝐥𝐝 update at the same time, so you can imagine that took a lot of their attention, which they discuss in the post. So for those of you that missed it, let's go ahead and dive in. Hello travelers, and welcome again to the monthly multiplayer update. Through the last month, we were hard at work delivering our 𝐁𝐮𝐢𝐥𝐝 update, which of course takes some of our attention to ensure we can deliver a high quality release to everybody. We were humbled to see more and more engagement with new players every day, and the reality of what this means for the scale of the multiplayer release is not lost on us. I'd like to update everybody on our goals from the August update, as well as share some information about some decisions we've made for group arena play. I am also going to discuss some of the learnings we have made about the scale we need to get in order to ensure a high quality multiplayer release. So the onwards to the updates. Number 1, converting the idle system to 100% server authoritative. Now what this means is back in August they were having trouble with some of the idols not being, basically I guess what this would mean is they're snapshotted, they're not server authoritative, so there would be a way to manipulate them in a way that you shouldn't. Now it says this is complete, it works well online. We will have ongoing work to fix a number of the idle fixes, specifically the ones that have very unique custom properties such as casting on abilities. It's more important for us to focus on the back end and technical portions of multiplayer at the moment, so we are happy with the progress we have made here until we get to CT and NP alpha testing. So what this means is idols themselves are in a very good spot, and until they're not going to do more work on it until multiplayer testing is actually out and about. Number 2, collect additional server performance data. I'm very happy to say that we now have this. We can now actively see the performance of all of our game servers at any given time, and we have a permanent history of them as well. It's possible for us to find outliers, good and bad performance, and major outages as our own hand-build diagnostics. This is crucial for us to be able to work quickly if there are issues when we go live. If you are having a bad time when last Epoch multiplayer goes live, we're going to know where to look right away. So this is huge, already in preparation for finding and being able to take care of issues immediately when things launch. Now I'm sure a lot of other gaming companies have this, however it's good to see that they already have it and can utilize it now to try and find some of those bugs or find outlying problems now before we go into a huge live multiplayer update. Number 3, improve Gamepad support for server-side multiplayer. We performed some preliminary investigations here and discovered that it will take some refactoring on our existing Gamepad code in order to make it easier to co-develop it with multiplayer. We know what to change and have a plan on how to do it and anticipate no issues making it all work. We're going to return to this project once we're done focusing on the back end and scaling. So it looks like Gamepad support's kind of been put on hold for the moment. They found some issues, however it seems like they already have a fix for it, but it's not going to come till a little bit later, but we don't have access to it for multiplayer yet anyways, so I'm assuming it might come out the same time that CT testing for multiplayer does, or at least when it comes to us, it should have better Gamepad support. Number 4, more testing and optimization of the arena experience for multiple players in a party and advanced supporting systems noted above. So after playtesting, we've decided the multiplayer arena runs will use a group voting system in order to allow players to vote on whether to continue to more challenging waves. How it works: every 5 waves, a majority role voting system will determine whether the arena run continues to additional waves. When a player in a group dies, they will remain down until the end of the 5-wave run. If the whole party is down, the entire arena run ends. So this means a couple of things. 1, it means that if someone dies in your party, they're not out forever. And as long as one person from your party survives every 5 waves, you can continue on. This almost makes it sound like it should be easier to progress further in a party than in solo play in the arena. Of course, we don't know exactly what party play means in terms of modifiers being exponentially bigger and things getting tougher. However, I like the system. It just seems like once you're down, you're going to have a way to get back into the party, so people won't be dropping out and just disappearing on you once they've been down the first time. And on top of that, it does take the whole voting group to decide to move on to the next round, which is always good. You don't just have one person calling all the shots. Why use a voting system? During playtests, we have felt having an entire run end due to one player having to leave the party unexpectedly felt too punishing. which it does. Using a majority vote system to progress in the arena allows the party some level of flexibility, which is particularly beneficial when attempting longer arena runs. We will continue to assess the multiplayer arena experience and make any further changes required before we release it to all of you. And number 5, start preparing to add multiplayer to the community tester program. I probably should have anticipated the response here, as I caused some chaos for our support team by having the community reach out through our support network. We had an overwhelming response of people interested in involving themselves in our community testing program, no doubt aided by the fact that it might involve early multiplayer testing. I wanted you to know that we've received everybody's responses and will eventually be selecting new candidates as we get ready to test our game at scale. If you've already applied, we will eventually get to you, meaning you don't need to apply again and again and again. It will not increase your odds. Multiplayer stability and scale. It's first worth establishing 2 important concepts: Last Epoch as a multiplayer game and Last Epoch as a platform. The first refers to our game content and gameplay netcode, setting up all the game content online, compensating for gameplay lag, essentially making sure the game is functional and feels as good as our single player game does. Last Epoch as a platform involves everything else it takes to bring a game online. How do we allocate your servers? What is our matchmaking code? How does our character storage database work? Can our login system handle hundreds of thousands of requests at the same time? Do we need to have a queue system? Do we have metric systems in place to monitor the health of all of this? We have been performing relentless testing on our multiplayer platform for Last Epoch to ensure it can scale up to handle many players, and do so in a stable manner. Between our continued development of our own skills as live ops developers, as well as observations about modern ARPG releases, we have learned a lot about what real risk of a live release are. Hint, the servers are the easiest part. As a result of all this testing and learning, we have come to discover that some of our backend services may not hold up well to scale as well as we would have liked them to. We are very happy to make these kind of observations now before we release to a lot of unhappy people unable to play our game, but it still means we need to go back and make some changes. Already finding issues that they would have had. This is great. This means that things will become even better for the future. So what does this mean? Firstly, this does not stop us working on Last Epoch multiplayer gameplay content. We're still readily adding and testing our single player content and preparing it for group play, making sure it feels great, performs well. It does mean we are taking a step back on some of our back-end systems to make them even better, such as the way we allocate servers and our chat system. I think many of us know the chat system has always been a bit of an issue. While these discoveries can often feel like a setback, the reality is that we are collectively quite relieved to now have the confidence to build out our platform and to own it. We are also confident that we're able to quickly fix any problems that might happen when we go live. We have a clear vision for Last Epoch as a long-term live platform, and you'd like to share more of your philosophies on that next month. And then what are the goals for October? They will be focused on making changes mentioned above for the sake of stability and scalability. We're actually well underway in most avenues here, and we hope to playtest Last Epoch multiplayer with our new challenges in the next coming weeks. Until then, we're still actively adding and changing game content to account for group play. Rather than provide a list of bullets this month, I plan on discussing the core pillars around what matters to us for a successful multiplayer release and what you are as a player should expect from us when we go live. I will also update you on the progress we make strengthening our backend to prepare for release. I'm sure we're also going to show you a cool gameplay feature or two. Thank you so much for the support. Really excited to show you all what we have cooked up for next month. So what this basically means is the patch release, 𝐂𝐮𝐢𝐿𝐷𝐻, looks like they didn't have too much to share with us or kind of expand with us on what they've done, but they did give us updates to what they were working on previously, and they've come quite a distance with it even while they're busy. However, it looks like the multiplayer update for October is going to have a ton of exciting things. So I'm super excited to see what they will in October show us for a cool gameplay feature. Alright, that's going to be it from me. As always, stay safe, travelers, and have a good one.